Hello everyone and welcome to the lecture on Amazon Bedrock prompt management. So this lecture will contain all these topics: prompt management in Amazon Bedrock, typical workflow for using prompt management, key concepts, create a prompt using prompt management, base inference parameters supported, and deploying prompts to your application using versions. So the first topic is prompt management in Amazon Bedrock. Amazon Bedrock provides the ability to create and save reusable prompts using prompt management, and that allows you to save time by applying the same prompt to different workflows. When creating a prompt, you can select a specific model to run inference and modify the inference parameters to use. You can include variables in your prompts, and this enables you to adjust the prompt to fit different use cases. When testing your prompt, you have the option of comparing different variants and choosing the one that yields outputs best suited for your use case. While iterating on your prompt, you can save versions of it to manage its development. You can integrate a prompt directly into your application with the help of Amazon Bedrock flows. Second topic is typical workflow for using prompt management. So this is a typical workflow. So you start with create a prompt in prompt management that you want to reuse across different use cases. You include variables to provide flexibility in the model prompt. Then you choose a model. So here you choose a model, inference profile or agent to run inference on the prompt and modify the inference configurations as necessary. Next, you fill in test values for the variables and run the prompt. You can create variants of your prompt and compare the outputs of different variants to choose the best one for your use case. And lastly, we have the integration strategy. So you integrate the prompt into your application in one of the following ways. Specify the prompt when running model inference, or you add a prompt node to a flow and specify the prompt. Next topic is key concepts. So first one is a prompt. So this is an input provided to a model to guide it to generate an appropriate response or output. Next key concept is a variable, which is a placeholder that you can include in the prompt. You can include values for each variable when testing the prompt or when you invoke the model at runtime. Next one is prompt variant, an alternative configuration of the prompt, including its message or the model or inference configurations used. You can create different variants of a prompt, test them, and save the variant that you want to keep. Next key concept is a prompt builder, which is a tool in the Amazon Bedrock console that lets you create, edit, and test prompts and their variants in a visual interface. So next topic is create a prompt using prompt management. So this is how you create a prompt. So you write the prompt message that serves as input for an foundational model to generate an output. Then you use, so this one is a variables, which is optional. You use double curly braces syntax to include variables in the prompt message that can be filled in when you call the prompt. And lastly, you choose a model with which to invoke the prompt. Or if you plan to use the prompt with an agent, you can leave it unspecified. If you choose a model, you can also modify the inference configurations to use. Next topic is base inference parameters supported. So first one is max tokens. So this is the maximum number of tokens to allow in the generated response or the output. Stop sequences, a list of stop sequences. A stop sequence is a sequence of characters that cause the model to stop generating the response. Next one is temperature, which is the likelihood of the model selecting higher probability options while generating a response. And next one is top P, the percentage of most likely candidates that the model considers for the next token. So I'll explain temperature and top P in detail in next two slides. So first one is temperature, which decides between creativity versus precision. So temperature controls the randomness of the model's choice by skewing the probabilities. So if you have low temperature, for example, 0.1 to zero point 0.3, so what it does, it makes the model more conservative. It exaggerates the probabilities, making the likely words even more likely and the unlikely words almost impossible to pick. The result is the output is deterministic, focused, and predictable. It will almost always pick mat. For example, cat sat on the, so it will, if there are few options and if you have low temperature, it will, so most likely will be cat is sitting on a mat. So these use cases are coding, math, factual extraction, and multiple choice answers. But if you have high temperature, let's say 0.8 to 1.5, what it does, it flattens the probabilities. For example, mat might drop to 40%. And for example, cat is sitting on rug or let's say floor might rise significantly. It gives the model a higher chance to pick a less common word. And the result is the output is creative, diverse, and unexpected. However, if set too high, for example, let's say 2.0, it may pick toaster. So cat is sitting on a toaster, so it's highly creative. And it may spout nonsense or also hallucinations. So this can be used in creative writing, brainstorming, poetry, and generating jokes. Here is an analogy. So low temperature, it's like a strictly logical professor who always gives the textbook answer. And high temperature is an improvisational jazz musician who takes risks. Next one is the top P. So top P is called as nucleus sampling. So top P is a different way of filtering words. Instead of changing the probabilities like temperature, which we have seen in the previous slide, it sets a threshold based on cumulative probability. If you set top P to let's say 0.9, let's say 90%, so this has a range between 0 to 1. So from 0% to 100%. The model sorts the words from most likely to least likely and keeps adding them to a list until their combined probability hits 90% and it throws away the rest. So let's say we have 90%, we have set this particular parameter, and using our example, let's say the cat sat on the, and we have to fill in the blank. An example with top P, let's say 0.9, and let's say cat sat on the mat has a 65% probability, so it will pick this word, right? But it will keep picking because it has to reach 90%. So keep going because we haven't hit 90% yet. Then it will pick one more. So this is like an array. So it will pick mat and rug. And rug has, let's say, complete its knowledge base. Rug has 20% probability. So it will keep adding. So in the array, mat and rug. So 65 plus 20 is 85%. Still, we haven't reached 90% target. So it'll keep adding the next word. Let's say next word is cat sat on the floor. And this has total 10% time. 10% of the time it appears in the complete corpus, right? So now we have hit 90% plus. So it will reach up to 90%. Then we stopped. Then between these three words, it will pick one of them. So the model will now choose randomly only between mat, rug, or floor. And words like sofa and toaster are completely banned from being picked, no matter how lucky the random number generator is. So low top P. So if you set low, let's say 0.1, it only considers the top few choices and this makes it very strict. And if you say high top P, let's say 0.9 to 1, which is the maximum, and it considers almost all options, including the low probability ones. So next topic is deploying prompts to your applications using versions. So when you save your prompt, you create a draft version of it, and that allows you to keep iterating on the draft by modifying the prompt and its configurations. When you are ready to deploy a prompt to production, you create a version which acts as a snapshot of your prompt captured at a specific point in time. You should create versions of your prompt when you are satisfied with a set of configurations, as this allows you to easily switch between different configurations and update your application with the most appropriate version. And that's all. Thanks for watching.